Is it true or not, Sushant? And you're an expert at foreign affairs as well. Is it true or not that there is indication of bias when Twitter complies with orders to suspend several Iranian state media outlets, citing that there was a coordinated and targeted harassment of a certain section, but it failed to stop coordinated and targeted lies in India spreading fears of a genocide, most recently in January? Sushant, do you see double standards there?
No, I don't see any double standards. I see a single standard that Twitter is serving a particular interest, and that's what they're doing. You keep talking about Donald Trump being deplatformed, and nobody seems to remember that just a couple of days before the U.S. elections, maybe 2 weeks before the U.S. elections, an American newspaper, New York Post, if I remember correctly, had published an expose of what then candidate Biden's son and his involvement with the Ukrainians, which was a big scandal in the US in those days. And that was simply removed from Twitter. Twitter did not allow it to go forward. So they were clearly playing a political role. Now, either you say that you're a platform and then all sorts of views can be aired and you don't take sides. The moment you start saying that a particular tweet by a particular political party, if the Congress party feels that particular tweet was fabricated, was manufactured, was a forgery, they're entitled to say that, take that position, and they should take the BJP to court. They should file criminal charges or whatever other charges. I'm not a lawyer, but I think there are lawyers on your program who can tell you that what charges they can file against them. Who is Twitter to decide whether a particular point of media or whatever has been aired is manipulated or not? And then if they did, and this was becoming a big case, I thought the Delhi police was well within its rights to raise that question with Twitter. Having said that, look at the larger picture. I just want to move away from the nitty-gritty of the law because I'm not an expert on it. But what I have been looking at is that these platforms are now very potent platforms for regime change, for interfering in politics, and for the same United States, which has gone ballistic against Russia because of certain emails that were sent, certain manipulated media, bots and what have you, does not take a dim view when a social media platform like Twitter openly interferes in a political process. They not only interfere in a political process, they actually try and influence it. Are we now, as Indian citizens, whether it's the Congress party, the communists, whoever, that's my problem. That's not Twitter's problem. Am I going to let Twitter or some other social media platform or some other platform play the Republic of Twitter or the government of Twitter, as a colleague of mine has called it, and decide what is correct and what is not correct, what they will allow it to go through and what they will not allow to go through, what political party they will support? Then they should openly declare that we are going to support a particular political line and we are going to go against a particular political line. They don't even do that. So I think that is seriously problematic, and that is going forward going to become a problem in terms of the political processes. And that is what people across the political spectrum, right now it's very easy, you want to kick Modi, go ahead, do it, say that the government is overacted, and perhaps in some cases, I think that's a valid point to observation to make, that, you could have done this with a little more panache than what you did. But having said that, today you go and pillory Mr. Modi or the BJP or whatever, tomorrow your government could come into power and these same platforms could play a similar dubious role. Will that be kosher at that point of time if it is not today? So I think these are the questions which we really need to ask ourselves before, we just fly off the handle. And to say that democracy is under threat. Democracy is under threat with the kind of dubious role that these platforms play. And finally, on the issue of the law, I don't know what the law is. I think the lawyer on your program probably is much more qualified. But there should be a law to regulate these people so that they cannot interfere in the political processes. That is my limited point.